so classroom expectations, I'm just gonna run through how I run
Yeah,
this classroom. So, and we've talked a lot already, so I
Right.
think we're like on the same page when it
Mhm.
comes to the vibe in here, the climate in here. So I really, and then I was pretty vocal at the meeting today, I really try to mimic as much after a college classroom as possible. So I tend to give difficult work. I always struggle with, giving them hard enough work. So I always like to, well, what's the word? I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I don't I don't do any like baby worksheets usually, things like that. I've talked a little bit about the first week, usually I'm, up there as an actress, like cracking jokes and then really coming down hard on strictness. So one big thing is I'm not okay with talking when I'm talking. They know that, it's something that they get used to. Not because I'm trying to, whip them into shape, but because I can't, I can't teach.
Right.
I forget where I'm at and whatnot. And they're really good about that. And we develop relationships so that I just get to kind of look at them and they're like, oh dude, shut up.
I think it's also just really good for them to out of respect for anyone
Of
who's
course.
speaking.
Of course. And it's something that they're not used to. So I think they've come from a lot of schools where that behavior was okay for whatever reason. I'm
Right.
not sure why.
Right.
And maybe those teachers had their own reasons, but it's definitely not okay for me. Yeah, because it's also, you can't talk in a meeting when someone else is talking. These are real life applicable behaviors that they need to learn. So I really try to keep it fun, like I explained to you, but the behavior has got to be to a certain standard for sure.
And do you like talk about like classroom rules like in the beginning, or do you kind of just as it comes up or whatever? Like what's
Right.
your...
I try to take a more relaxed approach, so usually first day we have to, but I definitely am not barking rules at them, because again, we're talking about a different population, they've dealt with that all their lives, I don't want to be the teacher to give it to them again. They're also adults, so I respect that, and kind of treat them as I would expect to be treated in a workplace. That may not always happen, but that's okay.
So most of them are over 18,
Yeah.
to clarify, yeah.
Yeah, most of them are over 18. I tell them that from the beginning. So I tell them, don't think of me as your teacher. Think of me as a coach. So I'm assisting in your learning. You're responsible, and I'm there to
Right.
help you get wherever you need to be.
I like that.
Right, because I don't, they come in here and they just see right away that teacher-student relationship, and that for them historically has been pretty bad.
Right, negative.
So I try to break that from the get-go. Open the doors to communication, so I always let them know, like, anytime you need anything, communicate, like, do not be scared. This should be, like, more of a family environment. I may have an off day and say something, nasty to you, and come talk to me and say, hey, you know what, like, that wasn't cool. Another thing, this is, this really depends on every teacher's viewpoint and then the type of school it is. However, in my classroom, they're not required to call me Ms. Pradanovich or Ms. P. And here's my theory behind that, for many reasons. I think it's kind of a barrier. Again, I'm trying to break that, traditional teacher-student relationship that has not worked for them. So my expectation is that we have a mutual respect through a relationship that's built on trust, not me commanding, like, I am your teacher and you address me as Miss P. My philosophy is if I'm addressed as Miss P, then they deserve my respect and I need to address them as Ms. or Mr. whatever. And I think that also goes along in a business world, people aren't required to address their bosses, Mr.
Right.
and Ms. So whatever your preference is on that, that's on you.
It's just different for me, but also what's different is the,
I don't think that's fair. So yeah, about the food thing, I allow them to eat in class as long as they clean up their mess. Because I know that.
So far we have like agreed on every single thing. It's a little freaky.
I know. It's gonna be great. Yeah. So can't.
We already talked about the seating thing, and you don't have seating chart, which I never have either.
same philosophy about adults being responsible for their own behavior. So I love that you feel the same way.
I kind of do the whole treat them the way I would want to be treated. And at
Exactly.
this age, you know, unless I,
Here's what to expect. Historically, they've jumped around from high school to high school. Most of them ended up in some sort of continuation school, at least one. I would say, I can't give you a percentage, but a lot of them have criminal records, have been to juvie or jail at least one time. So expect that. So, you know, you're not gonna get too many clear cases of, I had a slip up in high school and didn't, you know, there are those cases, I didn't graduate, so this is my first, you know, chance back. Now, whether leadership has been changing that and maybe filtering out kind of those more higher risk students because of their criminal records, that may change. So I would say
I
that
don't
would
know,
be.
such mixed.
Right, so we can
I've
talk about
had that experience. I've had that
differentiation, yeah.
experience. Super hard.
You're gonna get students that, we have tested them, and I've sat down with Ashley, and looked at the test scores, and I'll give you access to that, and it's frightening. The problem is you have students who are at first grade reading level, coupled with students who have exceeded 12th grade reading level in the same class. So, differentiating for that is insane. There are a lot
Totally experienced.
have a classroom that's fair and equal to every student. So here is what I've done in the past. I keep the rigor high, really high.
That would be really good for me to observe,
Yeah,
because
so,
I tend to go low as a
lower.
survival mechanism, and I
Right.
don't think that's the answer.
no, so.
All right, I'm looking at the board, I'm thinking, should we talk about what your vision is for the first week? What you're thinking about?
Yes.
The
Alright.
first week, and then like, the first month or whatever, kind of what you're thinking and where you would possibly see me fitting into that.
So I'm just gonna run by you what I've done in the past, and then we can change everything, or not change things or adjust things, like, this is so not.
Monday. An introduction of what a personal statement is. The video, the model on the board, that whole lesson. The next day is the graphic organizer, no, was that on Monday?
That, we wrote that down for Monday.
For Monday.
For the differentiation
Oh, yeah.
within the think aloud lesson on brainstorming.
Right, and then the next day, give it a try, write a personal statement. 5-paragraph essay, wonderful you.
I love that idea that we came up with, of just throwing them that assignment and then see what we get.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an idea of how you wanna approach the college thing? Maybe get in, cause we have a lot to cover in that class, right? This class is hard. We need to also get them to be able to navigate college websites, to kind of research on their own, like when, you know, registration dates are and things like that.
Right,
So that's another part of this class.
okay.
I don't know if you wanna start that here somewhere.
Well, we did the personality thing, so they've done that breakout and kind of the different careers, and now we're doing a personal statement, so I think we could now go to, let's look at some different colleges.
Yeah.
And, do we talk to them about kind of the differences between the community, state, and UC type of thing? Like, do we
I
maybe
love
have
it.
a little,
Yeah, because they're not gonna know,
right,
so that's a really good idea, and that's a really good starting off point. like, hey, you all know what college is, but there are different kinds, right?
Maybe what we do is divide them into 3 groups or 6, depending on how big the class is, and like just randomly say, okay, you guys go research state schools, find out what the application like we'll give them some criteria, and then they can report back to the class. And then we take that information and just say, decide where do you wanna, and really don't limit yourself.
I love it, so,
Okay.
yeah, and then this,
That'd be kinda cool.
yeah, this aligns with the 21st century skills, with Common Core,
Right.
and
Cause we're
with
not
tech.
gonna lecture about it, they're gonna go and find out about it. Cause
Right.
we could stand up and lecture about it for the whole class,
Mhm.
and how boring is that? It's kinda boring.
Right, and they need to get their research skills going on from day one, because this is exactly what they'll be doing in college, so that's a brilliant idea.
And note taking, just like we did that other lesson we planned, which I don't even remember what it was right now. But do the note taking so that,
Off each other, yeah, so they'll be
Yeah.
accountable, that's also participation grade, yeah, it forces them to pay attention, and then they really push each other instead of me,
right,
right? Because if they don't do their assignment as far as, researching and presenting well to the class, then their classmates miss out, so
mm-hmm,
it kind of puts a little bit of pressure on them. And that's also what
Right.
happens in college too, so
right.
love it. Because we're gonna have new students the second week come in.
Oh, that's right. That's right, she told us that, huh?
So we'll have to, for the first 5 minutes of class, do a little, actually both of us are gonna be here, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
So that's okay, because we're starting with personal statements. So remember when I told you, I really like to have kind of new topics every week because of that reason, because we get new kids all the time. And until that ends, which I don't know if it ever will. So, okay, I just want to, because that popped in my head, oh shoot, what about the new kids, but it lines up. Okay.
and maybe, I'll introduce myself, and maybe we do the thing where we just go around the room and, have your name,
We could do the bingo activity on that
Yeah.
Monday.
because we'll know some things about the other students by then. You can do that.
In fact, so for the first day icebreaker, what we could do is have them write 5 unique weird facts about them,
Mm-hmm.
switch with partners, have their partners share out to the class. That way we pull that information, can create the bingo activity.
Okay, I like that.